all the way to Pocatello. She knew of him. They were both 16, both going to professional, neither with any real prospects. He chewed tobacco, spat it out on the ground, and pushed it under the heel of his boot in a shameful display of anxious masculinity. His hat was too big, it cried out to her, and she could tell that he'd come from a long line of rodeo men in abject poverty. Randy was a bull rider. It was in his bones, the way he felt the wild spasms as surely as he felt the warm caress of his dead mother. Claudia was a barrel racer, the first rodeo girl in the family, the only child who lived past the age of 12 because both of her sisters had died of smallpox. Claudia braided her hair, fastened the straps of her helmet, checked the spurs of her boots. It began like that. They stared and paced each other for a long time. It was flattering in the same way that having a hurricane named after you was flattering, and the same kind of gentle watching as a mountain lion, the way a shooting star dies so that you can be the one to see it, and to think it was the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. And I could call it a love story, but my family has an eternal history of men who look for trouble and women who should be going to the ends of the earth to escape them. They were married in Matthew during October season, summer beaten, bloody, prismatic, and it just got colder and colder. Deneen met Jared in a Catholic youth group. Her father was a screamer, and sometimes the trailer shook beneath the weight of his rage, and me and hands leaving red welts on her child face. And it was the third time Jared had dropped out of school. His parents set him up with a nice place, went back to Idaho without him when he was just 13. They thought it was better that way. When Deneen looked at him, she could feel the breaking pieces of his heart like terracotta, and Jared could feel the gravity of the world revolving around him. When he played the guitar, she would sometimes sing. They would make eye contact for the briefest of seconds, leave the room wondering where all the time had gone, drive home in the silence of an empty car and wish they could capture the feeling on a CD. They played Stevie Nicks at their youth group, Bore Me Into the World Like a Song. When he left for Iraq, it was like the world had ended. It's hard to explain the way it feels to be a daughter and to wake up one morning and drive your daddy to the airport, piping up from the back seat, unaware. When he took me out of the car, he hugged me tightly, and he had that stupid, oversized U.S. Marine bag they issued at basic training, and he didn't have any room in his hands to carry me and the luggage. So my mother tugged me along, both of us trailing behind him. She was weeping, and I just smiled, my child brain loving the lights and the way I could see the distant mountains shaped tall to vine. I asked where he was the moment we got home, cried out for him every night for his whole 2 tours, and nobody came to bring me a glass of water at night, and nobody gave me medicine when I was sick, because my mom is the tough kind of woman who thinks every other person should be as tough as she is. Every day I longed for the father who left and loathed the stranger who came back. Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if he had just stayed. I wonder what it means to be redeemed. Because within 3 months of being back, he started cheating. My mother gets the shit end of the stick every time, and I feel bad for my brother every day knowing that he got a caregiver and I got a father. It's a gray haze that clouds several lifetimes, and your name's like a song, and my name was a song, and I think I'm in love with you. I find home in the space between the radiator and the sofa and you in my arms, and feeling like a dream, and the gold foil of your Faro shares, so overpriced, but I buy them anyway just to make you smile. And the way you match the colors of your clothes, and how you leave your clothes all over the room in a way that feels so lived in I could never deny you. I love the candle you made for me, and the way you smell like honey, and the warmness of your fingers and your slightly crooked teeth. They say love is a learned skill, that it can be taught, but I've never been taught before. I give myself to you, and every day I am born again in your image.
Graham, Blake, and Cooper. Graham, Blake, and Cooper. Graham, Blake, and Cooper. Every night I say their names like a holy prayer. I'm addicted to them like they are to me. I'm not like other girls. Really, I'm not. Because every time a guy says, "What are you doing?" at 2 a.m., I'm secretly thrilled. Never once have I responded, but that doesn't stop any of them from texting. And when they text you up, it doesn't stop the smile on my face from spreading. Graham texts me every day. He says he hates his wife who has a baby on the way. He says he wants to take me out to Broadway. He says he wants to watch the new Kit Connor and Rachel Fletcher film. He says I look much better on his arm than his fat wife, Jill. I would never respond, not only because I only write on Graham to make myself feel better after failing religion, not only because Graham tells me that I'm a 10 and he's a 2 and I find myself secretly agreeing, not only because my boyfriend already took me out to the Romeo and Juliet play, but because I'm a girl's girl. I know, I shouldn't be on Tinder if I have a boyfriend, but he doesn't give me what I need. Yesterday he told me he loved me for me. I had to force a smile and choked down the vomit and said, oh, baby. I don't give a fuck about my to get my daily dosage of male validation. Fat people start their days off with lattes. I start mine with a good morning text from a man who only dreams of me responding. I love all of them each in their own special way. Blake, whose idiocy reminds me to love myself. Every other day, Blake texts me a special thought. Yesterday, he asked me if the boba tea I'm holding in my profile had chocolate balls. Telling me to follow me into the ends of the earth, that I could be anywhere and he would come running to me. He tells me every night that he would do anything for me. It's the perfect way to end the day, reading declarations of love from my pathetic favorite little sheep. Please, I'm begging you, let me make myself a martyr of the patriarchy. Let these freaks lust over my young hot body. Men do so many things wrong. They do performative, pitiful vulnerability so right. My friends tell me that I should stop. They tell me to go back to my loving, painfully average boyfriend. And for a second, I wonder if they're right. My fingers are trembling, aching to swipe right or left based on the arbitrarily chosen number of abs I require for that day. With a heavy heart, I exit the app. Just smell the grass. Ask me why I'm singing. It's just calling me, and for the first time ever, I can finally feel and I can go clubbing and dancing and bar hopping and flirting and bitching and moaning and hating and giving people unsolicited advice for just to see train wrecks in motion. And for the first time in my life, I can find these. Oh my god, wait. Graham just texted me.
Yeah! Oh my god. Woo, woo, woo.
Accurate. Okay. Okay. I don't really have a title, but it's about different types of porno men. And it's accurate. Okay. I was an ugly kid, and I'm not saying that as a means of getting attention. I was genuinely an ugly kid from at least the ages of 6 to 14. Hey, I promise I'm not saying this to fish for compliments and reassurance. If I pulled up a photo right now, you'd think, oh yeah, that kid was ugly. And I'd like to think that since that time, my edges have slightly rounded, and like I'll always have that sharpness here, my exterior is partially softened. But even now, I only seem to attract the worst types of men. Ones who say, I'll fix you and have mommy issues and fuck me over again and again. Because they don't see women as whole people, just clay figures they can mold and perfect. Meanwhile, they remain unchanged, content to be plain, because they know they will be judged the way women always are for simply saying the same. And wait a minute, I'm not saying every man is to blame, but if you've ever been on a date with one of those men, if you have, you'd know, believe me. Anyone who has knows what I mean. If you haven't, hey, consider yourself lucky, but also let me walk you through it. First, the philosophy major. Cafe he discovered and needed to show you. It ends up just being Prince Coffee. You're an hour in and haven't gotten one word in edgewise because he's busy mansplaining Socrates to you. But he's not pretentious. He's just trying to introduce you to great new things. AKA showing you the same 5 philosophy books that are literally taught as part of the course. Same philosophical ethics class.
The guy who asks girls to name 5 songs. And then gets shocked when they actually can, because of course they can, everyone can. They're a really popular band. He insists they're underground because he doesn't do mainstream. His all-time favorite song is Teen Spirit by Nirvana. He really just wants a manic Dixie Dream Girl, but with none of the mania or mental illness, he doesn't want the dreams either. Just a hollowed-out likeness with bright hair and crazy eyes. You can listen to him drone on and on about his life. Third, the hipster. First date setting. Any independently owned restaurant in Brooklyn. You will end up spending $25 on a sandwich. He says, yeah, I'm a feminist, but what he really means is that he paints his nails black and doesn't like sports, so clearly he's defying all of them. He's a hardcore Marxist, but also spends summers on his parents' yacht. He doesn't know what Marxism really means, so don't even try to ask him. Fourth, the finance bro. The first thing you notice on your first date is his boat shoes without socks. Why is he wearing socks in his picture? He exclusively wears polos and suits. He has like a belly reputation today. And the worst part is, you know he'll be making triple your starting salary. Despite only possessing a very rudimentary understanding of the stocks, he's always checking. Be prepared to run into him on Wall Street in 10 years. Twice divorced and bitching about child support, you can clearly very easily afford. Fifth, the artist. First date, a picnic where he recites really bad poetry at you because he's really meta, and if you don't get it, you just don't understand his art, okay? You'll probably cry the first time you have sex, and the second. But then he will cheat and you won't. Sixth, the law major. He's either at Lincoln Center or wishes he was. He has hour-long documentaries on the socioeconomic state of Cape Town, or mating calls of severely endangered species of western birds, or some other strangely obscure topic he's shocked you don't know inside and out. He'll continuously talk about French noir and have you seen The Lighthouse? Wait, I'm really I thought you liked movies. If you haven't seen it, don't worry, you will. He'll make sure of it. And be sure to provide you with his in-depth analyses. 7, the athlete. Your first date will be the same place you both met, a party at his sports house he desperately wishes was natural prep. D1, he won't let you forget it. Every time he Snapchats you, it'll be him, shirtless and sweaty, lifting weights at the gym. He'll probably end up cheating on you and will ask, wait, babe, I don't get it. What's the big deal? Okay. 8, the comp sci major. This is Vermont, 4chan regular. Literally just echoes. He watches hentai, and that's the real reason he's so obsessed with Japan. Every time you have sex, you will do it with the light off. 8, the one straight guy in every musical or play. About how he was the lead in every high school play, failing to mention how he was one of 3 guys who auditioned at best. He's really hoping for an onstage kiss. And every day after your first one will just be running lines. And yes, he feels really inspired and seen by Hamilton. 9, the Maritime Man. It'll be him in mugs or maybe your first date will be, let's not curse, there's no first date, you just hook up. This is for when you get really sick of Florida men decide you're gonna branch out. That goes well. You basically never see each other because he has to wake up at 4 a.m. every day anyways. Okay. 10th, that guy you met on the apps. You'll meet him on, well, Tinder, of course, or maybe Hinge. You'll only hook up, even though his bio said he was looking for something serious. Oh, it's fine. You're totally fine with fucking him in his off-campus apartment every other weekend. And then fully ignoring him on your way to the classes the next day. He'll text you up, and he'll leave Monday at 3 a.m. He'll say he's 6'1", but he's 5'10" at best. But no, guys, I swear, he looks better in person. And he's really good in bed. Like, really good, guys. He isn't. That's the experiment. Your first date, you're not even sure because you honestly might still be friends. It's really unclear, but you do hang out a lot at Rod's. She talks about how college is a time to experiment, and she doesn't want to take it all too seriously. And And in the end, she insists it's just a phase. It hurts more than any breakup you've ever had, but still you'll go your separate ways, and in 5 years she'll marry a medium ugly man. But don't be too hard on these guys. Hell, there's a good, 50% chance you'll end up marrying one of them. And yeah, it will be in the campus chapel.
Next up we have Mary! I'm a little scared. No.
You can do it.
You're, no. You're thinking something is how to geek out for.
Everything?
So, do you like poetry? God, that's an awful opener. This is why I don't get laid. Not actually, of course. It's probably more to do with the social anxiety, the inability to pick a gender, the sign somewhere out there that spells love me and gasoline neon pink. I'm sorry, I'm babbling. I've been thinking too much and feeling an unhealthy amount. Have you ever heard of Sonder? From the German Sonder and the French Sondy, neologism, not even as old as my youngest sister, who I'll talk about a lot, and who you might meet someday, but you probably won't. A new word concocted by a man who's made a career of describing the indescribable. This one means the profound feeling of realizing that everyone, including strangers passing in the street, has a life as complex as one's own, which they are constantly living despite one's personal lack of awareness of it. Dating apps do that to me. That's why I asked about poetry, I guess. You've got a life as complex as mine, and I've got a life as complex as yours. And everyone I like or don't like, who likes or doesn't like me. And there's a poem there. And I want to write the unwritable. But a lot of people don't like poetry. And it's hard, seeing a story in every stranger, even the ones you don't actually want to date. It's hard loving what you don't know, and knowing that you'll never know, and loving them even after you realize that you were never worth knowing in the first place. It's hard wanting to wear your heart on your sleeve and not knowing whether they'll be more deterred by blood or bleached white cotton. It's hard. And what I'm trying to say is, I don't know you yet. I don't know you, but I want to, and you don't know me, and for all I know, you've already decided I'm not worth knowing. I don't know you, but I'll imagine I do. I'll imagine the blood on my shirt doesn't scare you away, and you'll tell me the stories of the blood on yours. I'll imagine you meet my siblings, and they love you, and I meet yours, and they tolerate me, at least. I'll imagine a life in parallel, a poem of shared complexities. I'll imagine you read the unreadable someday. And it's almost as good as knowing. It's almost as good as being known. It's almost as good as reading the full poem. Anyway, yeah. Do you like poetry? The way to win me over is, I'll never tell.
I found you at 3 a.m. through my bloodshot eyes. You're on my LED screen and you're in my pocket. Your name is tattooed on my heart in a heart with an arrow in it. So which are you? The arrow or the heart? If you pick a card from the deck, what will it be? A diamond or a club? Maybe a heart? I'm not much of a lover or a fighter. I've just been so goddamn tired, I'll let you into my life anyway. You haven't laid siege on me like the rest of them. There's no horse you rode in on, you swing no swords and you make no promises. Maybe you saw something you wanted, so I opened up the door and I let you in. So you're the arrow and I'm the heart. I'll let you do whatever you want, as long as you don't stray too far. I want someone to fight for me, or with me, or for me, or across me, whatever, as long as they're... Or we're both arrows, and we'll just stab each other to death because that's what we deserve. The last two weapons left in the quiver, so we might as well get together, right? Is anyone actually happy? Here on Hinge, does anyone actually get a happy ending? I don't think so. But we both can't be hearts. We can't love each other at the same time because then, like planets, we just orbit. We'll send each other letters through the post until the mailbox overflows, but never actually respond to each other or read the letters. Love is a medieval game rendered obsolete by the slow march of time. Maybe I'm just bitter, but chivalry has gone home, and you are the closest thing to a hero. So maybe I'll swipe right and let you win. My eyes get more bloody, obscuring the glowing light from my phone. The icon in your altar, you think of yourself as a martyr. And for a brief shining moment, because I can't see too well, you look like an angel. And maybe I want to strike you down because God damn you for looking that nice. Maybe you're the heart and I'm the arrow, because I'm bitter, but someone has to make the opening gambit. The lover's gambit, the queen's gambit? I never learned how to play chess. So maybe I'm not the arrow either, or the heart, or both, or neither. Because we're people, not prophets, and prone to things like sin and Hinge,